All right, now Wildcat fans, we are really excited. The season has wrapped up. The regular season, that is, has wrapped up last weekend with the win over Idaho State. And so we wanted to talk with a key member of the Wildcat football team, especially that offensive line. Been doing a great job of protecting the quarterback this year and making sure that, doing the best to keep the stability. So we have with the sophomore left tackle, Noah Atagi, local product from right here in Weber County. Noah, thanks for coming on Weber State Weekly to chat with us a bit.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you as well, man. And like I said, local product right here from Weber County. Played your high school football at Bonneville High School. And so, no, kind of my first question is, you signed in 2016 your letter of intent, and then you went on a 2-year LDS mission. But when you were growing up, I mean, did you grow up a Weber State fan? You noted, before we came on here that your father had played at Weber State, and so. Talk to us a little bit about, were you kind of a fan before and then just kind of found your way up to Weber State because you were on the coach's radar, or just sort of something new to you?
So my dad always raised me and my brothers as just huge Weber State fans. It was just easy for him to bring us up on Saturdays to come watch the games and everything like that. I remember going to the games during like homecoming week just to watch the fireworks after the game and everything like that. And actually there was a time, I think it was in 2008 when Weber State played Montana at Montana, and my dad and a couple of our family friends, we all drove up there to watch the game and everything like that. So I've always been a Weber State fan.
Yeah, it was a game where they won. In fact, they won in Missoula that year. So I guess you're a good luck charm. But so yeah, like you said, you grew up as a fan, and so talk to us a little bit about getting recruited. Then, as a kid. Growing up, watching the Wildcats play up at Stewart Stadium, and now all of a sudden you got Coach Jay Hill sitting in your front room saying, "Hey, what do you think about becoming a Wildcat yourself and putting on the pads?" What was that like?
It was really cool. Actually, it was really awesome, and Coach Hill, he actually recruited me a lot out of high school because I went to high school with his oldest daughter, Ashton, and so he came to a lot of my games because she was on the dance team, so. It was just kind of easy for him to be at those games and everything like that. So it was really cool to just have that opportunity to always be around Coach Hill. And then when I came on my visit here in Ogden, I already knew everything and I was really comfortable with everything like that. And I don't know, everything just seemed right with Coach Hill. He just seemed like the coach I needed to be with. And most of all, Coach Myers. Coach Myers just seemed like an amazing offensive line coach. Every time we talked to each other, every time he came to some of my games my senior year, it was just, I don't know, it just felt like he knew more than anyone I'd ever talked to about the O-line position. So
yeah, we heard a lot about Coach Myers from Joe Hawkins, former All-American, who came on the show a few weeks ago. Had high praise for Coach Myers as well. So yeah, the hits keep on coming for the great work that he does up there.
Yeah, he's an amazing coach.
I know back when I was in high school, going to Weber State was kind of a little bit of an afterthought. You being a little bit younger, has the perception changed locally with the local schools around here? Are the kids wanting to go to Weber State more? Or are they still thinking, hey, maybe BYU, Utah? I mean, is Weber State still feel like an afterthought to a lot of local kids?
I don't really know how to answer that question because for me, it's hard to get into college to play football as it is. And so, if anything, I was just grateful to be able to just have that opportunity to go to Weber State or just to have someone look at me like Weber State and everything like that. And if kids are looking to walk on or whatever, it's just, Weber State, we have a winning program. You know what I mean? We win and we win championships. And so, I don't think there's anything different. Obviously, being in the Pac-12 or at the FBS level like BYU or Utah State and everything like that, that's a bigger hype and everything like that. But I don't think Weber State is anything far from those other schools.
No, I've got a couple questions for you. First off, I want to talk about traditionally offensive lines are quiet guys. They're in the trenches. They do the dirty work. How excited are you? And how good does it make you feel for the job that you've done, having 3 different running backs behind 2 different quarterbacks played this year, the different changes that you've had in your backfield, and you've protected that and been successful for all that. How does that make you guys on the offensive line feel, even though you don't get the recognition when the offense has success like that?
I don't know about not getting the recognition because I just feel like all of our running backs and quarterbacks, they all do a good job of giving us the recognition we need. And
Mhm.
I mean, I love all my teammates to death. I mean, I love blocking for Bronson, Randall, whoever it is. You know, Josh Davis, Dante, Daniel Wright, anybody. I'll block for anybody. And I mean, it's a pretty satisfying feeling when you see the ball in the air and T-Mac just goes and grabs it. So
Yeah,
it feels
that's
pretty good all the time.
fantastic. Hey, and then I want to talk to you about one of the highlights of the season for me was a touchdown that you scored. Usually, we don't see the offensive linemen get in on the hook and laterals. So, can you run us through the preparation for that play and what was it like for you to execute that and to score 6 in Stewart Stadium?
So I actually got to take you guys back to this past fall in 2020. When we had kind of like our spring ball practices in the fall, there was one afternoon that me and one of our GAs, Zach Larson, we were just talking about it. And then I walked into Coach Hammer's office while he was watching film, and I drew up on the board that play that Zach kind of came up with. And I said, let's run it in a scrimmage this week. Let's do it. Or let's do it in a scrimmage. Let's get the defense. And so one of our scrimmages on a Saturday, we ran that play, and it was just kind of a one-up on the defense and everything like that in that scrimmage. And so I had been bugging Coach Hammer about it just to run it. And I told him I'm 1 for 1, like it works, the play works, and everything like that. And so when he it was actually pretty funny when he told me that against NAU, like the look was there in that formation and everything like that. And so I said, I'm ready when you are. So when we actually got to that point of on the left hash, on like I think we're on like the 4 or 5 yard line or whatever. And I think I told Randall in the huddle that, hey, whatever the play call is, let's just run that play. We actually called it Laker. So that's the mascot of my high school. We Coach Hammer named it Laker. So I said, whatever the play call is, let's run Laker. And we got to the line, or he got to the huddle. He opened the wristband. He just said, right when he opened the wristband, read the play, he said, "Oh shoot! All right, 26-4 Laker." And I was just kind of stunned for a second. I was like, "For real?" And then we ran it, and you know, it was pretty funny just how it all ended up and everything like that. It just worked perfectly, and I was nothing but smiles after that play. So,
how much are you of a hero in your family for scoring that touchdown?
I mean, pretty big. It was pretty crazy. I had a lot of family there at that game, and I know they have like this special cheer, so they were going crazy, and I could hear it for sure.
So, Noah, I'm curious to know your take on this because y'all experience the game down on the field, right, which is a completely different perspective than anything that we have. But y'all also watch a ton of Weber State football, right? You watch a ton of film and see how you can improve and everything. So I'm curious to know your perspective on how has the offensive line performed this year? How do you feel like y'all have done?
Yeah, I think there's always room for improvement and always things that anyone has to do better in any position. But I always feel very, very confident in our O-line and very confident that we're playing our best and that we're doing everything we can because, I mean, we have one of the best, if not the best, one of the best guards in the whole nation right now, Ty Whitworth, who's been there 4 years and he's been an All-American 3 times or whatever. And we got Ben Boss. He's also been here 4 years. And then to be able to have Hiram, who's had tons of experience, and also new guys showing up like Trevor Szilagyi and George Barrera, who have stepped up and been able to play when guys are hurt. And honestly, there's just no better feeling than me playing next to my brother. I'm really confident in him and myself. And then being able to hold down the left side as Hiram's out right now. And then I know Ty and George will handle everything on the right, and Benny's always solid in the center. So I've always thought that with Coach Myers coaching us, there's not a lot that can go wrong.
So Noah, you before we came on, you talked a little bit about recruiting your brother to come and play next to you at Weber State. We wondered if you'd maybe tell us a little bit about that story because it's kind of an interesting one. And like you noted, you and your brother grew up Weber State fans, and there was an opportunity for your brother to come and play at Weber State. So talk to us a little bit about that and how that progression happened, and then eventually your brother playing right alongside you.
So during the summertime, during all the quarantine and everything like that, our left guard at the time, Cole McGinnis, he got a great, phenomenal job offer to work at this hospital up in Idaho, and he took it, and it was just a great opportunity for him to end his football career and just move on with life for him and his wife, and I'm really happy for him. And so me and Coach Hammer were talking, and he called me up actually during the summer, and he said, no, what are the chances of if I told you we had a spot for your brother and you told him about it, what were the chances that he'd enter the portal and come here? And I said, Coach, let me hang up the phone and give me 10 minutes and I'll call you back. And so I hung up the phone. I called my brother and I said, all right, dude, so there's a spot. We have a scholarship. Like, we're ready for you to come here to Weber State. And I mean, come on, man, come play and come play with your brother. And so he was in a tough position because BYU obviously had a phenomenal year this past year, and he was also walk on, but he was doing great. He was a number 2 guy at BYU, and he was just moving right along everything. And then, he just, after a few days and of me probably being pretty annoying about it, and I probably called every person I knew who had an influence on him to tell him to come here. And he ended up coming, and it was just, ever since then, we haven't looked back. And I mean, now we're winning championships together. So it's something that we're happy about. And obviously my parents are really happy because they don't have to split time between games or anything like that on Saturday. So it all works out there.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Hey, Noah, I got one more question for you before Colby cuts us off and producer Dan cuts us off. And we're going to have a fight about this later amongst the panel. So I want to get your input on this. What was your favorite uniform that you wore this year, and why was it the purple top, the white pants, and the Go W lid?
Oh, I mean, I have 2 favorites. I love the all black look. The all black look. It's a sleek thing, and I don't know if it's an O-lineman thing, but I just think we all look better in black. And Coach Myers, he's a big fan of black uniforms too, so I think he has an influence on that. But for me, nothing beats the purple, white, and the flying W. I love the flying W. I love everything it represents, and just it means a lot to a lot of us on the team. So
thank you for agreeing with me, and all the rest of y'all. That's the only take that matters right now.
We all love the flying W as well. Coach Hill has mentioned this a couple times in the past, but sometimes they talk about their time at Utah and how 2009 the offense was never going to go against a better defense than what they were facing on their own team, right? And he's kind of referenced that to Weber State. What are those battles like on the field day to day in practice?
We get after it. It's just every day at the end of practice we do a 2-minute drill, and where the offense either has to score a touchdown or get a field goal, and we get after each other for sure. Coaches get after coaches, and players get after players, and it's a full on game right there. Even in any kind of drill, I feel like the intensity of practice going against each other, it's insane, because I feel like we have just a massive amount of talent in the offense to D line, linebackers to running backs, DBs to wide receivers, quarterbacks to safeties. It's crazy going against each other every week, and obviously we really make each other better. I mean, trying to get a second level block on Connor Mortensen isn't the easiest thing for a left tackle like myself. So.
Yeah. No, I got one more question for you. So looking at this year's captains, and you are the youngest captain as far as eligibility anyway. You're only a sophomore and everybody else is a junior or higher. So walk us through that process. What is it like being named a captain? How does the team select captains? What's all that like?
So usually we just have a team meeting, and Coach Hill passes out a paper with everybody's names on it, and he tells me how many you get to vote for, and it's voting for not only captains but also leadership committee. And I didn't think. I mean, I was on the leadership committee my freshman year and everything like that, but I didn't think I was going to be a captain. But when it happened, I was grateful. I was really excited, and I feel just really blessed to be able to lead and be led by other great captains and everything like that, and just to be part of a just a great situation right now with our team, how it's going the way it is, being undefeated right now. And it's just, I don't know, being a captain, it's a big responsibility, but it's awesome at the same time because you get to be a part of everything.
That's incredible, man. And like AC said, quite an honor for you as a sophomore to have that opportunity. Guys seeing talent in you, and no doubt you'll continue in that leadership position in the coming years and your eligibility. So, Noah Atagi, thanks so much for chatting with us. We'll be watching, of course, not this Sunday, but actually it is this Sunday now, right? Now that we're past Selection Sunday will be this Sunday. We'll find out how the bracket's going to look and whether or not Weber State's going to have the opportunity to host another home playoff game. We've gotten a little bit spoiled in the past few years. We keep having those, and so hoping to have one. But Noah, we'll be watching, and of course, if there's a home playoff game, you know that we're all going to be there. So appreciate you for taking some time and chatting with us tonight on Weber State Weekly.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Weber State Weekly is a Deep State Media production. It's produced by Colby Peterson. It's directed and edited by Dan Martinez.